What's up guys, Benji Gaming here and welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video and the next installment of my things I want to see in NHL 25 wishlist slash features. In the last two episodes I talked about customization and be a pro, and today I will be talking about franchise mode and the things I want to see added in there. This is my third ranked category or feature or like mode that I want to see changed or fixed. So first up, I have the All-Star Weekend. I touched on this in Be a Pro yesterday, and I want to sort of add on to it in terms of franchise mode. So yesterday I talked about how All-Star Weekend and the skills competition in Be a Pro would be super cool to have, just to be invited there, and all that cool stuff. But in terms of franchise mode, if you as a GM could choose who you want to send to the All-Star Weekend, and you get a set number of players you can send, that would be really cool. Same with the skills competition. You can talk to players and figure out what events they want to participate in. It's just another way of making the game or making the mode more fun and innovative and just addicting to people who have strayed away from franchise mode. It would bring them back into franchise mode and get them playing it, and it would just help the offline community like me. I don't play any online. I'm just pretty much offline at all times. I just love playing franchise mode, and just gameplay wise, I there's a lot of stuff I want to see, but I will touch on that on Monday's video, which will be my last video for this series. Anyways, back to my wish list. Next up, I have franchise team record book. Basically, it's like team records, the number of Stanley Cups, number of playoff round wins, number of wins, etc. So in terms of record books, right now we only have player records. We do not have team records. So I think it'd be really interesting and really important to add in a team record book or a franchise record book where you could see your coaching history, your GM history, your team's history, and like you could see the number of wins, losses, and shootout losses and overtime losses you had over the span of however long the franchise mode is, 10 years, 25 years, 15, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And you can also see how many number of Stanley Cups you've won. Right now, you can see the team, like in the awards section of the game, you can see the last 5 years worth of Stanley Cup winners, President's Trophy winners, and Conference Championship winners. But if you had a record book of all that stuff, or like even a league record book, it'd be much easier and much more uh, creative to have that as sort of a way to look up each team's records. So if you want to trade a player to a certain team, or if you want to trade for a player from a certain team, you could choose to trade from a player from a contender or a team that has won Stanley Cups in recent years or all that good stuff. And you can just see how many wins they've had or how that team has done in the last 5 years. And that could be based on how you pick your player in the draft, or I guess not in the draft, but in free agency and in the trade deadline and stuff. Next up, complete menu and UI redesign. So the menu I find is okay, but a lot of people have complained that the menu has become stale and the same since NHL 21, which I do agree with, but I do think that it is time for change. They do need to rework the menus and rework the UI in terms of like the box scores and all that stuff. Just make it pop more. Like Madden and EAFC have all this stuff on the screen that you can see. Like there's like news, there's like weekly or like top stories and all that stuff. So I think that'd be pretty cool to have. Just in terms of like being a hardcore franchise mode player, it gets pretty boring doing the same thing every save file I have, every franchise mode I make. Is just looking at it and being like, wow, this doesn't pop the way it should. It doesn't appeal to me the way it should. So I think that'd be a really good sort of feature or add-on that they could do to make it more fun. Next up, I have the IIHF within franchise mode. I touched on this in Be a Pro. If you have it in Be a Pro, it should be in franchise mode, and vice versa. You can invite, or you could send players to the World Juniors or the World Hockey Championships, or the International Ice Hockey Federation could come to you and say like, hey, we'd like for you to give us a list of who you want to send to the World Juniors or who you want to send to the World Hockey Championships. you have a certain limit on you can send based on other teams' lists of who they're sending and blah blah blah. I think that would just be a better way to sort of make franchise mode more enjoyable. Next up, I have the PWHL integration. I talked about this in Be a Pro yesterday. Just adding it in would be another fun way to sort of make it more fun for the female community of EA Sports NHL. I know there's a lot of you out there who are hoping that the PWHL either gets its own game or gets introduced into the EA NHL series at some point. I have my fingers crossed that it will be in the next few years. If not this year, I doubt that it will be just based on it having its inaugural season this year. I guess last season technically, but anyways, it would be a cool sort of thing to have. You can have like a custom league where you can introduce the PWHL teams to the NHL and sort of play it like that and see how well you can do. Next up is a free agency minigame. I think I talked about this in Be a Pro yesterday, where I said that it would be really cool if you could basically have like cutscenes or whatever, or like pop-ups to figure out who's available, who the top free agents are. Sportsnet and TSN here in Canada do it very well on free agency day, or the day one, I guess, July 1st. They have like a free agent frenzy is TSN's, and then Sportsnet I think just has like a free agent day. They have like a ticker on the bottom of the screen that has like the top 50 free agents that are still available, and then who their team that they selected was. So I think that'd be pretty cool to sort of introduce and add into the game to make it more immersive, more interactive. Next up is clauses, movement clauses, or no movement clauses, I guess. So NMCs and NTCs. So a no move clause and a no trade clause. That's pretty straightforward. If you sign a player to a contract, they could give you, or you can give them a no move clause, which would restrict you from moving them from league to league or from team to team in the NHL. And a no trade clause restricts you from trading them to a team. It's like I think Austin Matthews, John Tavares, William Nylander, and Mitch Marner all have no movement clauses, which means that they cannot be moved to the AHL and they cannot be traded to another team. It's pretty straightforward. If you guys want me to explain it more in a separate video, I can do that, but just leave a comment down below. Moving on, I have outdoor games like the Winter Classic, the Stadium Series, the Heritage Classic, and I think there might be one more that I'm missing. I don't know. But yeah, this has not been in the game since NHL 14, I believe. I think it should come back. It's been 10 years. EA, come on. Like, I wasn't too worried about it when they took it out for NHL 15 and beyond, but I think now is the time where they should add it back. It's been 10 years. We've been waiting for 10 years for this, EA. Now's the time to add them in. It would just be a lot more fun with the new graphics engines and the new gameplay, the new skating, the new all that good stuff. But all the new animations and just the updated graphics would make it more enjoyable now than it did back in NHL 14 when the graphics were the thing at the time. But you know what I mean. The next two are an awards ceremony and full awards history. So for this, like an awards ceremony would be like a cutscene or like a pop-up of the awards that your player won. Because right now, if you just have an awards section in the stats part of franchise mode, I'd like to have like a cutscene or like a cutaway to like the stage and some of the players in the stands or in the seats in the audience. In the backdrop, like NHL Awards 2025, 6, 7, blah, blah, blah. And maybe have like an MC that's hosting it and just talking to the mic and then announcing the players as they win. Yeah, I just think that would be pretty cool to have in terms of innovation and immersiveness and interactiveness. And then you as a GM could also nominate players for awards. I think that would be pretty cool as well. And the full awards history, that's piggybacking off of what of the previous one. Just have a tab in the player stats category or the franchise stats category that has a full awards history of every award your team's won or your players have won, or around the league even, just to make it more fun. And then finally, I have previous game box scores. This has been requested a bunch by players or by fans, I guess, over the years. I've noticed it. Being able to go back and see the box scores from all the games in the past season. You can't do it in NHL games now. You can only see it if you're still on that day in franchise mode, like if you haven't simmed past the game, or if you haven't advanced past the screen at the end of the game, you can look at the box score. But in terms of going back and seeing the previous box scores from games, you cannot do that. So yeah, that's it for my franchise mode wish list. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give a like on this video. Also, subscribe if you haven't. It would really mean a lot to me. I'm trying to grow this channel back. The 128 of you that have subscribed, thank you for sticking with me for all this time. I'm surprised you guys haven't left yet, but please don't. Please don't. I want you guys to stay. I'm hoping to get some more videos out for you guys in the near future after my wish list series. And click the notification bell, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys tomorrow for gameplay.